And listen, guys, check out our new website, www.marriagevantagepoint.com. And remember, you are the MVP in your marriage.
From this moment.
All right, Omega Radio listeners, right about now, we're going to go ahead and get tuned in with both Karim and Michelle Hyatt, your hosts for this segment, Marriage in a Minute, right here on Omega Radio. We're going to go ahead and turn it over to them now, so go ahead and stay tuned in. Over to you.
Good afternoon, radio listeners. So this is Michelle Hyatt, and of course, I have my husband, Karim Hyatt. It is Saturday. It is 3:30, and I'm hyped. I'm happy to be here and grateful to God. Talking about marriage in just 1 minute. It feels like a minute. So somebody just asked us, what is marriage in a minute all about? So this is where we talk to you guys about having healthy discussions in your homes. And it's 15 minutes long, but it feels like a minute because you start getting into it and you turn around and it's 15 minutes. It is over. So today I'm sitting on the right side of my husband. And I'm not used to my brain doesn't function this way. I like being on the inside. So he took my mic this morning in the studios, y'all. So I'm hurting. I'm trying to live with that. So I'm looking at the mic and the mirror and the camera, and I'm looking in all the wrong directions.
It's throwing you off?
It's totally throwing me off, and I never get thrown off. But it's all good. You want
to switch?
You dance along and you keep going. But anyway, it is Saturday. Yeah. And like I said, hey, I'm not promoting, but this weekend is actually the Sea and Air Show. And I hope you guys have had an opportunity to either go out already, or you're going to go later on in the afternoon, or try to catch it tomorrow after church, y'all. Not during service, after church. But anyway, yeah. So I hope you do get out and be able to get in some good times with the spouse and have a good morning or a good afternoon. And here we are. We're the break of the fast during the day for you guys. We're your break fast at 3:30. So we're breaking the fast. We're talking about marriage. And let me not say another word. Here goes.
Now I'm just sitting here listening to her talk, and I'm like, where is she going with it now?
No idea where
so I guess I did throw her off with the switching seat, but anyway, one of you guys love to dance. But before we go into that, thanks for listening to Marriage in a Minute every Saturday at 3:30. Yes, my brothers in Jamaica, 89.9 FM in Jamaica. If you're listening in, just want to say a big hail up to you guys. I can't forget our time that we spent on that encounter in Jamaica.
And he talks about you guys every day. I have to hear it. No, I don't have to hear it. I'm happy to hear it.
It was an experience for me personally. It was really a great time, talking about the Lord and getting an encounter with God. So, but anyway, so today we really are talking about a topic. It's called love dances. That's why I asked earlier, do you love to dance? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And
but not the kind of dance where you just kind of throw one foot in front of the other, and if it kicks your mate or it kicks your usually I'm going to pick on the guys because usually ladies, we've got good rhythm, right? So the guys are usually kicking and I don't want to dance, but it's important to dance because you get to lead when you dance, and it's important to know that you are really sitting in the captain's seat, in the pilot's seat, the pilot's chair, right? And you get to lead in your own dance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You get your very own dance. So if you don't like to dance, I want you to try to have a love for dancing after this, because you get to lead. Yeah. And you don't get to lead in a horrible way. You get to lead. You don't get to lead kicking. You don't get to lead stepping on anybody's toes. You just get to lead. And a part of that lead-in, and I'm talking to ladies for a minute, just think about it for a minute, right? So you go and you take a horseback ride with your husband on the beach. It's beautiful. The water is just right, right? But you get on, somebody's has to be in the front of that horse. Not the front of the horse, but in the front. do you want to be in the front holding the reins, or would you really rather have your husband in the front with the reins and you're on the back of him and you're holding on to him as he holds on to the horse, as he holds on to the reins? That's what we're talking about, how to allow lead-in.
Yeah, I could put it another way too. Michelle and I.
Put it a better way. So I
No,
can hear it
another
right
way,
now.
another
A
way.
better way. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Michelle and I remember she's trying to teach me this three-step
dancing.
dance, and I still
He's
can't
got
get
two
it.
left feet, y'all.
Yes, I
Kick
do.
me, step on me, and I'm still here.
So in the middle of the dance, sometimes I'm accidentally stepping on her toe, or
It's
out
an
of rhythm,
accident,
or
I hope.
but we don't stop dancing. We keep going,
Yeah.
try to learn. So picture that, or picture the horse situation. That's what we're trying to say in terms of your marriage. Somebody has to take the lead, and typically, well, not typically, God called the husbands to be the spiritual leader, and the wife to be the one who supports the leadership. But that support is not a downer. It's in unison. So basically, you're working together. So the thing is, sometimes through the marriage journey, while you're dancing together, so to speak, you step on each other's toes, right? Or you
Bump into each
bump
other,
into
right?
each other with arguments, or with conflict, or whatever it is. You don't stop dancing together. You just get back on track. So basically, that's why we call it love dances, because there are times when you're gonna have bumps and hurting each other's toes, or whatever it is. You may say something that is not nice to your spouse, but you apologize and you go on again. So basically, love dance is a design that God made with marriage, where the husband has his role, the wife has her role, and you work together in a dance to get this. We keep using the word dance so you could picture it that way, to get together, so things just work in unison. All right.
Sorry,
go ahead.
and you might say, but I'm strong. I'm a strong woman. And if I don't take the lead, and if I don't go back to the Bible, you have to submit who you are. So your natural dispositions or your natural bents it's got to be yielded under what the Lord's standards and requirements supersedes who you think you are.
Yes. And, of course, there are going to be times where the wife may take the lead in a certain situation, and the husband may not be good at that moment or that time. So it's not saying that, the wife can't lead in certain areas, because, again, like Michelle and I am not a handyman, so to speak. I don't know how to fix things and Michelle is great at that. So, in that situation, then, she could take the lead, and then I see it and I learn it. So basically, but the overall, where God expects is that the husband should be leading spiritually. The wife, surrenders or submits to that leadership as unto Christ, not as a rulership, but, leadership spiritually. So why did God create it that way? What's the reason? Because he wants us to please him in doing it. And that's the thing. It's basically worshiping God, reflecting Christ in your marriage. And he did that because he knows he's best. He knows best. He knows how things are going to work best. A lot of times we go away from that role that we are supposed to be carrying as husband and wife. And then that's when the dance messes up, so to speak.
And then sometimes you can't even, when it messes up so badly, you can't even find your place where you need to be. But I think recognizing, identifying with who Christ says you are in your marriage is the first step to understanding the design. And once you understand the design, that, okay, he takes the lead. And like my husband said before, and we say it all the time, no shame, it's no big deal to us. For us, it's no big deal. For another couple, it might be a big deal. So my husband has said before that about the money, like, did we ever talk about this?
Yeah, we spoke about the money part of it.
A part of it where we say, if I make more money than my husband, it doesn't change his role.
Right.
So we've got, and I think that's a lot because we fight about money. I was just reading a statistic and see what a lot of couples fight about money. So it's your money because you make more money, but it doesn't change the role. So no matter what what you're bringing into the marriage, so it's your added value that you bring to the marriage, but it doesn't change the role. Your husband is still who he's supposed to be, and you are, as the wife, you're still who God made you to be. So money doesn't change your role. So even if you're not working, it doesn't, if the wife is the only one working and you're not working, it doesn't change who you are in the marriage. It doesn't change your role.
Right.
So I think with ease, that's what we need to talk about the ease. Know who you are and exhale. Because nothing changes who you are, because this is how God sees the union.
Yeah.
Right?
And the thing is, and God give us these roles as husbands and wives, we sometimes feel like, we don't want to carry them out because the other person is not carrying. So we start pointing fingers, and that's where the dance messes up too. There's a role confusion that happens sometimes, so to speak. This thing where you hear sometimes 50-50.
And then we watch each other.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not carrying your weight.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So, 50-50 doesn't work.
50-50 doesn't work.
You hear it all the time. I'm sure you guys hear it, 50-50 marriage. It's really 100-100.
Yeah.
Each person's role, you do yours at 100%, your wife, your husband do it at 100%, and that's how it works. That's how the dance is beautiful, and sometimes we go away from that. There's this thing where sometimes we carry out our role because the other person is doing theirs. So what if they don't carry out their role, then you stop too?
You give 25%.
You change the percentage of what you're doing.
Yeah. And
so,
if you think about it, where my husband said before, this will please the Lord. So we can't go to God with 50% worship or 50% in a relationship with the Lord. So why would you bring that into your marriage?
Right. Here's an example. A part of marriage is you have to show affection to each other. And sometimes what we do is, the world has a spin on marriage which is different from what God created it to be. The world says, I'm going to show you affection based on your merit. In other words, if you don't deserve it, I'm not going to show you affection.
Right.
And that's the worldly part of it. God wants you to love and respect unconditionally, right? And if both people are doing their role, it's going to work. When you start pointing finger and say, well, Michelle is not showing me respect, so I'm not going to show her love, or I'm not showing her love, so she's not going to show me respect. So that's where the dance messes up real bad. And then you have to start dancing again and learn again. So it's basically, a role confusion that happens sometimes, and it can be avoided. But sometimes when you mess up, which is going to happen, you have to just get right back on track.
And then sometimes we say, oh, you're not meeting me halfway. Well, what if your spouse, he's got a problem with distance? How does he know? You've got to meet him 100%. She's got to meet you 100%. And the person who keeps saying, oh, you're meet me halfway, there's a distance issue. So now that we know that, do we stop and say, well, I'm not doing it? It's really all about what God's expectation for us in the marriage, because he's going to be looking at us and letting us know where we are, right? When you think about it, sometimes you've got a husband and a wife, and if you think about a thermometer and a thermostat, right? One reads the temperature and the other one sets it.
Yep.
Right? And one's always watching what's going on. You're reading, watching, you're setting. Be that person who sets that great tone in the marriage. Be the tone setter.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Don't allow feelings to get in the way. If you sometimes you don't feel like dancing. That's not going to work. So, but anyway, we are at the end of our program. We're going to continue next week. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about ways how you could fix that dance that's messing up when the dance starts messing up.
And it's not changing the music.
Yes.
Or maybe it is,
Keep
right?
music.
So you got the wrong music. That's
Yes.
why we're messing up. We're going to change the music and see what happens. But
Right.
anyway, we're at the end.
Yes, but thank you guys for listening to Marriage in a Minute. I said minutes. Join us next Saturday at 3:30 p.m. on Omega Radio Broadcasting Network, and just share with another couple. And remember, check the website www.marriagevantagepoint.com.
Amen.
God bless you guys.
God bless you guys. Have a great day.
All right, Omega listeners, you were just tuned in to Marriage in a Minute right here on Omega Radio. If you enjoyed today's program, tune in next week Saturday at the same time of 3:30 to 3:45 p.m. right here on Omega Radio with your hosts, Karim and Michelle Hyatt for Marriage in a Minute. And we would like to say a special thank you to them for being proud sponsors of Omega Radio.
From this moment.
Hey, radio listeners, this is Michelle Hyatt,
And this is Karim Hyatt.
host of Marriage in a Minute. Tune in every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. right here on Omega Radio Broadcasting Network.